Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome to the team show here on the Blue Broad YouTube channel. It is Thursday, the 3rd of July, 2025. We are here just a little over 24 hours from the big clash against Collingwood, the big rivalry clash. And we are here to talk amongst ourselves, watch a press conference, watch some highlights of some VFL players, cover all the news and themes that have happened this week for the Carlton Football Club, and get ready for a big game tomorrow. How about that? How you all doing? Who is here? That's the question. Aiden, first up, first comment, straight into it. You don't want to mess around. Have a look at what Craig McRae said about the rivalry and also Darcy Moore and how much it means to Collingwood. Meanwhile, our club has said nothing about it and there's been zero hype towards it. Joke. All right. I haven't watched the press conference yet, so I haven't seen that. I did see I think I saw one Twitter post where they said the old rival awaits or something like that. But good to have you here, mate. CFC ahead. Hello, mate. Fermi, tell me more about the aliti. The aliti is it's a Greek word. The aliti, we've all got the aliti in us. It is it's I think it translates to like the delinquent, but it's that fire and the raw, and yeah, that's what the aliti is. Anyway, hello Carlton Blazing Blues. Hello Wayne. Hello Jen. Eleanor. Matt, you are here. Jen, you got an email from the club regarding the Spirit of Carlton luncheon. First you laughed and then you deleted it. I think you can chat to Aiden because he's unfollowed and blocked the club on Instagram. So, Chris, hey, mate. Hello, Brian. Hunter. Brian, if we lose, I'm blaming Jane Bunn. Okay. Hello, Paul. Good morning to you over there in the UK. What's the weather doing? You know what? It's actually nice. It's actually a nice winter's day. Paul, you are in Melbourne soon. I think you are here next week, if I'm not mistaken. So that's exciting. Hello, Chichio. Hello, Hyde. Andy P. Hello, Mr. Bobblehead. What up, Alana? J-Baggers, don't watch the presser. No, we're going to watch the presser. We're absolutely watching the presser. Are you kidding? I don't watch it on purpose so I can watch it live here on this show. Wordy, it's interesting how much our club builds up the Dons rivalry, but not the Pies rivalry. Well, I actually think even if they built up the Collingwood rivalry, you'd get pushback saying, just shut up and go out there and do the job. So I don't know. I think we want what we want until we get it, and then we're still mad. I don't know. Only Carlton. Hello, mate. Josh Lofts. How do we keep fronting up weekly? I don't know. To be honest, I actually don't. I don't know how more people watch this show every week. It's fascinating to me. Sandra, hello. I think we are going to see some youth this week. J-Baggers, don't watch the presser. Apparently, we just need to look forward and get after it. Oh, God. Okay. Hello, Brian. Hello, Fon. Jared. Hey, mate. Zonked, if you see another 3 changes without rewarding good VFL form, I'll be pissed. Well, I've actually got some VFL highlights of some players that we can watch. And I'm really curious to see if some of these guys will play. LAJ. Paul, you are here on the 20th of July. Okay, great. So that's a couple of weeks. Christina Bombonati. Hello. G'day, John. Tim, waiting for the nothing to lose could... This keeps it hype, clear and aligned with nothing to lose mindset. Let me know if you'd like any tweaks. Yeah. Hello, Robbie. No expectation. You'll spend more time in the members drinking and drowning your sorrows. Yeah. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Julie. Hello, Debbie. Oh, Debbie. Debbie has offered a couple of tickets for the game tomorrow. All of a sudden, there's so many tickets available for this game. We're gonna give some tickets away later as well. Stephen, hello, mate. Wayne, please not the get after it phrase. Okay. We are going to watch the presser for sure. Sam, hello all. Let's get after it. Hello, B. Would assume there's no debutant if it hasn't been announced already. True. Hello, Eric Telato. You've beaten Jonathan. Bugs, hello, mate. Debbie, you are against any more than 2 changes. Carroll and Cowan in. You cannot put kids into a team in a game like the Pies when they're losing so badly. Well, I think Saad and Silvani won't play. So there's 2. But I thought Billy Wilson was a little sore. I don't know for sure. And I also thought I saw that Jordan Boyd didn't attend the training session today. He wasn't out there in the captain's run. So we might have a few more than 2 and some forced changes. I would hope after a loss like last week that there's 3 or 4 changes, personally. Only Carlton. Thoughts on Wiedering saying the players will definitely respond tomorrow night and that we're going to find a purpose for the next 8 games? Well, you'd hope so, because they haven't seemed to have found a purpose through 16 games. Why is everyone getting upset over his comments? Does SEN simply like to take Carlton players' comments out of context so it can piss off supporters? Aiden, I am shocked to hear you write this, because I reckon you've been sucked in by media taking players' quotes out of context before. But I'm glad to see the growth, mate. Love it. Yeah, I don't think anything Wiedering said was that wrong. I mean, also, anything anyone says, no matter who it is not going to change the situation or make us feel better. The only thing that's going to make us feel a little bit better is beating Collingwood, I think. Hello, Tim. Hunter, you're just looking for some scoreboard nourishment. 8 games. Well, I think for me, it's like, okay, well, why? We'll just keep going around in circles, because obviously, why wasn't there purpose from round 1? And why has it taken us 16 games to now talk about finding purpose? We also were having honest conversations after round 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, so it's tough. Someone put 200 grand on Collingwood to win by 150 points. Really? I don't know about that. 200 again on $200,000 on Collingwood to win by 150 points plus. Is that for real? That really happened? Aiden, Moya, and O'Farrell are apparently playing. You just know Akers and Doc won't get dropped. I'd love to see Ashton in. Would love it. He played against the Pies last time. I think he was the sub. Fon, well, exactly right. Where was their purpose? Where was their purpose? Danny, Pie supporter here. Hope you guys beat us. We need a reality check going into finals. Our performances have been mediocre at best. Are you taking the piss, or are you? I don't know if you're winding me up. But thanks for tuning in. Aiden, you fear that we might be playing too many players? Yeah, I personally don't see how debuting like Billy Wilson and Flynn Young, their first games of AFL footy, I think, have been tainted. And I don't know how playing last week helps their career at all. But that's just me. It seems like the club is scrambling to give us what we want to hear, and it just seems a bit disingenuous. But again, it's the right message. Yeah, and I think that's, yeah, no matter what anyone says, I think even like Priestley the other day, president, like no matter what he said, it wasn't going to fix anything. But I think they're just trying to show that they're, hearing, listening, and accepting what it is and what they're going to do moving forward. So we'll see. How about the players go out there and win tomorrow? That'd be nice. That would be nice. Any Camporelli boys in? I don't think so. I'm not sure. If Princess Park gets vandalised after a 50-point loss to a team we don't care about, imagine what happens if we lose by more against the Pies. Scared for the club. Yeah, I definitely am a bit worried what it would. I mean, if we see no spirit like we saw last week tomorrow night, it's definitely a worry. But is anyone expecting to win tomorrow? Like, really? Ciao, Jonathan. How you doing? Debbie, you don't want any players dropped from last week. You want to see who responds and who doesn't. Well, that kind of goes against, I think, what you've been saying throughout the year. I don't know. So obviously, if there's injuries, they'll go. There's 2 players that are injured, maybe 3. I wouldn't mind seeing some selection statement at some point, but fair. Paul, we're going to take it to the Pies tomorrow and be relentless. Bleed for the badge. I like that. Bleed for the badge. No one's expecting to win, only hoping. I'm with you. All right. We're going to watch the presser. I'm so excited. Blue hat, navy blue hat, back on. All right. Let's do it.
How to go about reviewing the Port game and things you found that you didn't quite see or not?
A few too many things to be sort of sitting there and saying that we could cover all of it. But look, I mean, I talk about it a fair bit. We couldn't get our hands on the football as much as what we'd like, and certainly didn't get the impact that we needed when we did. So took real power out of our game, and so there's obviously some parts that we need to take out of that. There's also sort of trying to lean a little bit into the body of work that we had completed over a period of time, and then find that sort of somewhat in between mode, and then get after this week. So we've had a slightly more extended break, if you want to call that, with 8 days. So it has probably given us opportunity to be able to go back and train a couple of things that we've missed out on, and maybe the last couple of weeks with some shorter turnarounds.
You spoke about effort, particularly in the first half, that was lacking. That seems like an anomaly for your players over your coaching team. So do you expect them to just come back this week?
Well, we hope so, and that's the part of the response that we've had. There's some other parts around the reliability that have been missing if you talk about the context of the entirety of the game. So we've left disappointed at times with that, but the real disappointment came on the weekend that we didn't show up with the right attitude, if you want to call it that, right approach. We've been quite reliable in that space with how we turn up in that space, but we let ourselves down. Bitterly disappointed in where it's at in the context of the season. But like what we do every single week, we try to remain pretty consistent with how we look at it. We deal with it, work out how we get better, and then turn our eyes into Collingwood. So, a huge game for us against an old rival, and obviously 80,000 people at the MCG. So it turns your mind forward pretty fast.
You spoke about a collaborative approach post-game, how to get that guarantee that effort. So is there something from a coaching perspective that you can do better this week, or have you?
I can't even hear what that question is, but I think I caught the end of it. Something around, is there something from a coaching perspective you can do better?
Oh, it's collective ownership. There's no doubt about that. It's I guess it's probably speaking to the leaders first about where we need to place our importance. If we've drifted anywhere, where we need to refocus our attention. Obviously a lot went not right on the other night. So. And whenever you're trying to reset yourself, it always starts there. So the system relies on it. To be able to get phases of your game together, it relies on that part of the game. So, and that's what we'll try and bring at the very start of this game.
Was there an explanation?
I actually can't even make out what the question is.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's like I said, you've got to sometimes look at it from a from a body of work over a period of time, and then a one-off game, and I'm sort of we don't dismiss it. We address it, pretty thoroughly. But the reality was that from an away venue, we didn't turn up the way we needed to. So we have to correct that pretty quickly. Fortunate that with this group that they turn their minds forward pretty quick. They know what they need to be able to train in during the week, and that's what we've been able to do. We've sort of narrowed our focus in some of our roles. Type of pressure we want to bring around the ball. So Collingwood have been pretty good at that for the entirety of the year. So that's something we're going to have to make sure that's really spot on.
Was there an explanation for that lack of effort early, given how important the game is?
No, we've moved forward a bit now from that, to be honest. Like, it's sort of like, the review was, done 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, and now we look on what we need to be able to bring next. So, as I said, we've got plenty of evidence to work from to suggest that our first quarter's been quite powerful. So, we go back and have a look at that, and we contrast that with what turned up on the weekend, and we've got a pretty strong visual of what it needs to look like to start this game.
The president backed you in publicly until at least the end of the year. What's your response to that?
Well, I think what we've always been is pretty aligned with where we need to go. It's probably the least of the things that I'm thinking about at the moment. It's more about probably where care for our people, and we've got a job to do, and it's been fairly eyes in, and I also know that sort of connection and alignment will help us. And so to have that leadership through this period of time is going to be important. My role in that's going to be really important. But we've got a great group of people, and I spoke about that after the game around the amazing group of people that we do have, and they're here with the right intention, and we're busily getting after getting better.
Talk about blocking out the outside noise. Obviously, this week your fans have been very vocal. There was some spray paint out the front. How do you go about internally keeping boys motivated and keeping away from that sort of thing?
I can't make out the question. I think it had something to do with the spray paint and how do you get people motivated again, whatever. Yeah.
We have to keep focusing on what's important, but we also acknowledge that there is a frustration and disappointment as well. So we feel that and we hear that. What we've also had is tremendous support as well. So that's our club, and we do this for Carlton, and the way through this is to stay connected as a team. Way through that is to stay connected as a club. So that's what we continue to do, and what we're really blessed with is that we get to turn up tomorrow and we get to play in front of 85,000 fans. So we see that as a real competitive advantage for us. We want that noise in the stadium. We want to energise that noise in the stadium. So passion is part of that. And we understand that. We certainly understand our responsibilities behind that as well.
I was surprised how much the pressure appears to have ramped up over the last couple of weeks in a short period of time.
Well, off the performances that you don't want, of course, there's an expectation that there's going to be a level of focus. So there's peak interest in us right now. So that we can't step away from. So. But also you can't act into it as well. There's certain things that we get to be able to do. How we turn up and how we show up, that's on us. And so we lock in on what we need to be able to do next. And we've got Collingwood, so that's a really big game, and that can shift your focus pretty quickly. So there's no rest here. We look forward and we keep going.
Drawn on this week that Graham Wright was going to start a couple of weeks earlier. Do you think that's a good thing to get his feet under the desk and get moving?
Yeah.
I think the question was around Graham Wright. Yeah, I can't make them out at all.
Well, having the date is obviously important. I guess between now and then, I've probably spoken about the advantage we've had with having two leaders here, and I think we've spoken about that for probably 3 or 4 weeks now about what that looks like for us. Nothing really changes on that front. We've always had the support. We've always had that great guidance from two really important leaders. So. They'll play up from the administrative side of the building, and obviously we focus on what we need to be able to do.
Robbie said on Monday that Graham will be like a football CEO, so do you welcome his input?
He's got a wealth of experience in that space, so I'd hope that there's an element of that for us. So every CEO will have their slightly different way of doing business, and obviously that's going to be an important part of. Righty and the experience that he brings for us. So, but I mean, I guess how that plays out, I mean, we sort of, we'll find out in time. But, for us, we've been in constant dialogue with him the whole way through since he arrived in, what was it, January, February, I think. So, that part of that relationship hasn't changed.
Has he given an outline of expectations for the remainder of the year? He's sort of taking
I think the question is, has he given you any expectations for the remainder of the year? I think he's referring to Graham Wright.
Well, as I said, nothing's really changed in terms of like his presence for us. So it's business as usual, and what's been taken care of is obviously the date, and so we'll move forward on that. And it's pretty hard to sort of sit here every single week and ask about that particular transition. For us, it's now we get on with business, and it's about performance and how we start to turn the form on the field around. And there's exciting things to look forward to. We've got some youth that will be playing, some big games over the last 7-8 weeks of the season. We want to energise that. What's really important to us is that we connect into our supporters. They are very important to us. So, we understand that there's a style of football that we want to play that they can be proud of and we can be proud of, and that they can connect to. And so that we're all in this together.
Do you still see this?
So I find it interesting because I don't think the journos are asking him questions about the game, and he seems to want to talk about the game, which is a good thing.
Same as a contest stoppage-based side?
Yeah, I think everything starts from contest, though, doesn't it? Like it's a game of first and foremost is around effort, and off the back of that system develops. But to sort of say that we rest on that as well is it wouldn't be right. We're trying to continue to look for progress and how we get better, and there's been some phases that we need to get better at. But going to those specifics is probably not necessary today. But we're always continually looking for that advancement and what that looks like.
Charlie had a couple of looks last Thursday night. How do you get Charlie back into the form, that formidable forward presence?
I have no idea what the question was. I think he's asking about Charlie Curnow.
Persistence. It's about persistence. As I stated after the game, I thought he competed really hard. He fought right to the end, as most of the guys did, as much as the day wasn't working for us. The group was really determined to sort of see out the game as hard as we possibly could. So it was good from that perspective. From Charlie's form point of view, it's about persistence and opportunity. And, obviously we've got to try and generate the opportunities for him to be able to capitalise. And if he's getting a few looks down there this weekend, we'll be pretty pleased with that.
David Wiedering spoke yesterday about his ankle. Do you need to give him a rest at some point, or is he going to be able to push through it?
No, sure.
He's asking about Wiedering's ankle.
I mean, a lot of players are carrying some sort of thing at this time of the year. So, there's always a niggle. We're around 17. That's why it makes the season really long. But also I think it's to be stated that for us this season's live. There's a lot to get out of this year. There's nothing parked here. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to protect. We're going after it.
Wiedering saw also
Fair.
And you've got to make changes with side and Silvani. We're expecting, as you mentioned, a few changes in this side.
Yeah, there'll be a few changes this week. So we'll obviously won't sort of declare those until they need to be. But yeah, we'll create some change in the team. Obviously, two you already highlighted there, but as far as the other boys go, I mean, we're always managing guys now towards this end of the year. So, there's niggles that pop up from time to time, and we manage them if we need to during the week. If they're not right, they don't play. That's pretty simple for us.
It's really frustrating when you can't hear the questions. Usually I can maybe make them out. That was really tough to hear them. Anyway, I'm going to share the link in the chat. And if anybody wants to come on and share what they thought about the presser or bring up anything, you're welcome to. Andy, I'm going to get you in a second. Let me get through some live chat here. Clean up on aisle 7. If I can see this. This is Carlton v Collingwood, a history-led battle that can kill or resurrect. Pull your head out of the clouds. We've got this. Say less. B, you're not expecting a win, but you're kind of holding out some false hope that it might be closer than we all think. However, you did have an Uber driver this week tell you he thought we'd lose by 100. I was crossing the road yesterday morning with a coffee, like getting my morning coffee, and a guy that was at the red light, like in a van, rolls down his window, like, "We're gonna beat you. We're gonna beat you tomorrow night, or Friday night." I'm like, okay, cool, thanks, mate. Cheers. Cheers. We're just in our infancy. We're taking it one step at a time. Hey, man, it's green shoots everywhere. Hey, just green shoots. Oh my goodness, we've gone from green shoots, and they're like dead flowers now. They never sprouted. It never became a tree. Oh no, we bought dud seeds. Oh goodness. Explicit Empress. Why does his energy look like he's a grown boy in his first day of high school? Yeah, he's nervous. Fair. I thought he looked pretty under siege. I mean, they are under siege. He never mentions Oppo players and who he thinks are the major threats. Well, to be fair, no one asks. I thought the line of questioning was a lot around the club and less around the game. But I don't know. You listen to Fly talk about the rivalry and how they fire up for it. Yeah. So do you mean in the Collingwood presser, or do you mean the clip from Collingwood media when they announced the debutant? Josh, we're one bad loss away from I love coaching. I think you're right. I'm cooked. Yeah, mate. I am sizzled. That's the truth. What will we do without this channel? I don't know. I have no idea. Do we see Wiedering's interview where he dropped the line side by side in Collingwood round? The players just don't get it. Yeah. Anyway, Ben, I see you. Hello, Ben. Ben? Okay, you are driving. We might just get you to put the phone in like a stand, maybe. I don't want to, get you in trouble. Andy?
Hey, Tez, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
So good. So good.
You are not driving. You are stationary.
No, I'm definitely parked. It's getting harder to listen to the pressers. It's just, I mean, what can he say? He can't really say anything because they keep repeating the questions. For him, it's like, I covered this last week. What do you want me to change? Go from 0 to hero in the space of a week? I just find it like they're trying to get blood from stone, the media, and it's like, give a performance that they can start asking something else, but then they don't. So then it's just the same old questions. But I just found today was just, I found it interesting. He said, we want to play in a game style that we're proud of, and we need that buy-in and connection. Is that revealing something that they're not convinced of his style?
Yeah, I honestly, I just think it's at that point. We're at this really weirdly familiar point in a Carlton season where it's all cooked, and the next little bit of time, which for us is 8 weeks, I don't even know what we're clinging on to as supporters. Like, what is there to cling? I mean, I spoke to Swoop Luke today on an interview on his channel, and he asked me, like, what do you want as a supporter? I'm like, oh, I think I just want to see something to resemble some sort of pride, because at this point it's something that I can hold on to, knowing, okay, this will work for the future, whether that's individual youngsters playing that gives some hope for the future. Like, I'm kind of already looking at 2026 now. What about you?
I was just going to say the thing that we look for every year when we know we're not going to win it, we're looking for hope for next season. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for trialing a few things that might make us look a bit better on field, trying a few new players, getting rid of players that we know aren't going to be there next year and giving like blooding other players that technically should be given a go. So
Yep.
it's like interesting. I think on the website they publicised the training thing, and he spoke about blooding new people this week, and I can't reveal who yet, and that's fine. Like the team will get released, but like I keep watching the VFL, and I'm like, Harry O'Farrell should be in this team. Ashton Moyer, if you're not going to play him, what's the point in keeping him if you're not going to give him a go? Harry Lemmy, if you're going to get rid of him this year, he's out of contract. You're not going to give him one game just to see if he can do something. Like, I love Charlie Curnow, but could he be doing any worse than Charlie Curnow at the moment? I was there at the Port game. He didn't look like kicking a goal if he was like a metre out. So he's down on confidence. He's down on form. Good teams, if that is repeated over a 5, 6, 7 week period, they say, hey, go to the seconds.
Well, how's
we'll
this?
Get you back.
So, I mean, this different players, different potential. Like I understand, but so North play tonight. It's an important. I think it's their centenary match.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, and Clarko dropped Luke McDonald, who's a childhood North Melbourne supporter. He was there when they were potentially going to fold the club and send them up to the Gold Coast, and no sentiment. Like, nah. There's no way if that was like, I mean, well, Doc played last year, so that sort of tells you the story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's injured, Terry. I don't think he got dropped.
Oh, McDonald's injured?
Yeah, I don't
Are you
think they
sure?
dropped him. Yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm almost positive that him and so it was him, Jack Darling is injured, and someone else is injured.
My bad.
And then
I thought he got dropped. My bad.
Yeah,
I was sure he was dropped. I knew Darling was hurt.
Yeah, him and Darling injured. Zach Fisher managed. I was just I was looking at it earlier, and I was like,
my bad.
Yeah, but yeah, like I don't want to bring the Port game back to this chat because I know we've got to move on to Collingwood. But I was at the ground, Terry. I was at the ground. You know, when you go to the ground, and obviously you go, when it's Melbourne, you go, when you can see so much more than what you can see on TV.
Yeah.
And it was like the effort and the effort and the actions were just like so clear to witness. They were jogging from the first bounce. They were jogging.
Did you see it in the warm-up, or was it like as in like when they, I don't know, like was it early to see as soon as you saw them come out, or was it literally just once the game started?
Once the game started for me. I got there a little bit late, so I got there like right on the bounce.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the Blues members section, and there was more Port fans than Blues. And it was funny because it was like 12 months ago, we came here to play Port, and it was filled with like Blues fans, you know, like you felt like you were together in a group. Whereas last week was just mostly Port fans, and it became a joke. And they were commiserating me. They weren't giving me shit. They were just like, mate, what is wrong with your team? And the thing that killed me was when McGovern at the end of the game, when he kicked that, he just had to walk it in to go. And instead he kicked it about 50 meters up in the air. I stood up and I faced the crowd, and I'm like, how can you win a game when you've got guys doing stuff like that? And they were just like, mate, we can't help you. Like, we can't help you. Your team is no good. So it was a real pathetic game. It was just one of the worst, and there's no emotion anymore. I used to get angry. I'm not getting angry now because I just like.
So what about tomorrow then? I mean, like last week was, what about tomorrow?
I just don't think we've got any sort of form or strategy that we can beat them. And they've got so many good players out, and I used to cling to that. Oh, you know, Bobby Hill's out and Sidebottom's out. Sidebottom always tortures us. And I'm like, well, they're not playing. But I'm like, mate, they could blood 10 new players and we won't beat them. They're just too drilled, and they need a loss. Like, they haven't lost in a long time.
I think they're 14-2.
Like that's ridiculous. They're all like 37. Like how can they be just continuously backing it up game after game? Like
13-2. The Pies. Who'd they lose to? They lost early in the year, like maybe
they
early.
lost to Brisbane and GWS.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And like they're beatable. That's the problem. Like Collingwood are so beatable, but they just find a way to win every time. And I just don't think, like we've got beaten up players. We've got our best players are out of form. I just can't see a world where we come out and we just do a complete 180 and we're better. So I'm not going to get myself into any false sense of hope with this game. I just don't think there's nothing statistically to suggest that we can beat them. There's nothing. So they would have to play really, really poorly. So for me, it's all about.
Yeah, we would have to play. I think they could play poorly and still win. I think we would need to play out of our skin to win tomorrow.
Like their lives, like they're not waking up tomorrow if they don't win. I still think Collingwood would win, but
yeah. I spoke to Luke earlier today. He was saying like Collingwood haven't played, and there was someone that chatted earlier in the live chat, and they were saying like Collingwood, their performances have been mediocre. And they've sort of been playing with their food a little bit, but they're just so good that they can turn it on in 15 or 20 minutes. And when I look back if I recall the last time we played them early in the year, it was that third quarter where they just torched us. Like we were awful, and after halftime, and they were also very good. And from memory, it was that third quarter that really split the game open.
They sort of almost like toy with you a bit. Like they don't go hard. Like they go hard when they need to, like they're not, they've beaten teams by high margins this year, but a lot of their games are fairly tight. And like a couple of weeks ago, they played St Kilda. St Kilda could have won that game, but Collingwood just found a few reasons to win and they won. And that's why I think like better teams than us will beat them in the last 6 or 7 matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just can't find any reason to think that we'll win. It'd be nice if we did, but for me now, the season's all about sorting out the contracts of a lot of these players that I think have failed us in their tenure, sorting out DeConning, sorting out, are we going to get rid of these coaches? Are we going to keep them?
Do you think any player's contract apart from DeConing should be announced before the season ends? Or do you reckon that we should just wait for everyone now until the end of the year?
I think it's a waiting game now. I don't think it would give any benefit to come out. Like, obviously, the players that we're going to delist. So I'll use Harry Lemmy, right? If they're not serious on giving him another contract, there'd be no benefit to say, oh, we're not going to keep Harry Lemmy. So, all of those kinds of things will wait to the off season. I think people like your McGovern, Blake Acres, those kinds of players, they'll definitely wait to the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
I think I may have lost you.
No, I've got you. Have you got me? Oh no. Yeah. I was going to end it there anyway. Can you hear me?
I've lost you.
All right, mate. We'll see you soon. Paolo.
Have you got me?
I've got you. Have you got me?
Loud and clear, mate. I'm in the humble abode of my lovely grandmother. I thought I'd just tune in.
I'll tell you what, if this happens tomorrow night and like it cooks itself again, I'm going to blow up.
Yeah. Thoughts? You're warming to the idea of going to this game tomorrow? Yes, and how good are the doors? Just before we go on, how good are the doors, by the way?
Hey, that's nostalgic. That's childhood right there.
Okay. Nonna.
Does Nonna have the tiles on the wall? Yeah, the tiles on the wall. She does.
Nonna, vieni qua. Digli allo. Questo è il mio amico.
Ciao, Nonna.
Marinella.
Ah, tu sei la mia coccinella.
Possiamo vincere domani sera. I said, do you think we'll win tomorrow? She's doing the sign of the cross. Have a look.
Devi pregare a
Nonna.
Gesù.
We have to. We got to pray to Jesus.
Si deve pregare a Gesù per tutte le cose.
I love it.
You must
Nonna.
pray for everything.
Everything.
Jesus
Everything.
is the best.
We're going to win
I love
tomorrow
I
against
think so.
Collingwood?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nonna says we're going to win.
If Nonna says we're going to win.
Okay. Win.
Grazie, Nonna. Grazie.
I pray tonight and tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, me too.
We've got it. There she goes. Grazie,
love it.
Nonna.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
grazie. I had to get her on.
That's what it's all about right there, isn't it?
Yeah, good old family. And I tell you, it's funny now, even she's starting to wait. Usually, so, and you would know, you can attest to in the Italian and Greek households, when you first walk into your yaya, papu, or your nonni, your grandmother will first ask you, not how you are, have you eaten?
Yeah.
Right? Now, the first question is, oh, how did Carlton go? No good.
You know, so my papa was an Essendon fan growing up. And
yes, I do remember this.
Ever since I started doing the channel, he now has the Carlton zip-up jacket. He's like a full-blown Carlton fan now. Like he's just, he loves it. He absolutely has jumped ship.
Because
It's amazing.
mate, of course, mate, because he backs his family up, mate. He backs you up,
Yes.
of course. Whatever the offspring does and whatever the light in his eye does and the apple in his eye does, he has to follow.
You must have this one.
I knew she'd do this. See, the thing is, if you actually ask them to do it and see them in front of a camera, they get all embarrassed and whatnot. But now that she knows, like
Now that she's comfortable,
the center of
you know
attention.
what? I've got these. I don't know if I'm defacing religion by doing this, but like I've got like Crips as, like. I don't know if you can see
Well,
that.
that's I think I think it's to a point where we see these players as the ideal, and that's what it is, right? But that's, I guess you could say that's worshipping false idols, and that's probably what we've done as a footy club for a long time, just quietly.
You know what? You actually make a point. Like we've given Premiership player contracts to players who haven't even dominated in a final.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah. Well, isn't it? Do you find it weird that if you look at all the big clubs, well, I say big clubs, but the most successful clubs in the AFL era, are a lot of them really, like all their top end players, they're not really paid huge sums of money. Well, they are, but they deserve it. Whereas our blokes, they're on huge money, and I suppose as individuals, they're good players, but they haven't really achieved much as a team, have they? So is it, do you sacrifice? I suppose it just goes back to sacrifice your own materialistic wealth to a certain point. You forego that for the hope of something grander.
So I had this conversation earlier today about Tom de Koning, and I don't know if Susan's in the chat, but I caught up with Susan for a coffee. And she's like, do you think Tom will go? And I sort of played it out. And I think he'll stay ultimately. And part of the reason is I think somebody will get in his ear and tell him, listen, all right, 1.7 million, but you'll be miserable because will no longer be about the joy of football. You'll only ever be spoken about based on your contract and what you earn. And it's never going to be about your football anymore. It's only going to be about, are you worth what you paid? And he'll lose that essence. I mean, in exchange for 1.7 million a year, I think, because I think there's this perception that these players get paid X amount of money, they must be happy. Well, it's not always how it works.
And I find this. So are we a club that if Tom de Koning were to take less money and stay, are we confident that his legacy will be fulfilled in football? Like that's what he's probably looking at. And the two clubs that he's weighing up, we don't know. Personally, I think Geelong's still involved somehow, some way. It may very well be the case, but he probably will likely end up at St Kilda. The two clubs that are in the fold for him, us and St Kilda, I mean, they're not really. Are you staying for the football? You know what I mean?
If he stays,
yeah,
then we all know that he would have foregone the big dollars. Do you think that's going to give him more endearment from the fans?
Yeah, to a point, but again, it would be dependent on what he's on. I mean, is he holding us to ransom to a certain point? Look, I don't think he is, but that offer has bumped up his market value. It's not based off him. St Kilda have come to him. I don't think he's asked for 1.7. I don't think he's asked for that. But when someone comes and offers you that kind of money, it's hard to knock back. But, you know, so I suppose you go back to that saying, which I always like to use, for what shall a man profit if he loses his soul? You know? And people will say, well, he profits 1.7 million, but okay, well, does he lose that spark of playing for? Look, I know we're in a slump. I get it. We're not playing well. Like we've been garbage for 25 years, but there's still an allure playing for this club that St Kilda can't grant you.
Yeah. Well, the reason why he's even being spoken about,
that's just the reality, though, is it not?
Yeah, the reason why he's even got this price tag on him is because I think a lot of it has to do with Carlton. I even liken it to like Zach Fisher's offer at North. Whatever, I don't know what he's on or the length of contract, but I do truly believe that because he came from Carlton, it added a little bit more value to that contract to North Melbourne compared to if he was playing and he came from the Doggies.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, it might be that tax. He's a fascinating case study, and I've been repetitive with this over the last month or so. I think his value, not his dollar value, but his impact as a player, I think, has been overstated because his name is in the media and his name is up in lights so often.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And it's like, and I look, not to, but it's like, when a couple of years ago it was all, COVID, and everyone's just like, and then you just see on the news every time, TDK. It's like, hang on a minute. Well, do you know what I mean? If it's in front of you so often, it almost overstates its ability. And that's probably what, is it through a fault of his own? I don't think it is. He can't help that St Kilda's offered him a contract. He's played good footy and St Kilda's offered him a contract. So
true.
Yeah.
True. It's also a totally different avenue for St Kilda, who they haven't traditionally been a club to throw money around and get big names in, have they? Not in my time, not that I can remember.
It just seems I'd like to know their reasoning behind it. Like, why would you? Like, what's the reason for you justifying a massive? Well, I'd say, what's the reason for you justifying a huge contract for Tom DeConey to just anybody, really?
Well, yeah,
Carlton or St Kilda.
Yeah.
So,
what about tomorrow? What have you got anything about changes? Have you got any news?
Ashton Moy will play, but I think I announced that I think we announced that on Tuesday night, and then we might have said it on Monday as well off the top of my head. But Ashton Moy will play. That will definitely happen. Outside of that, I haven't really heard anything else. So I'll assume it'll just be. I assume O'Farrell will play. I think he was close to selection last week, but he was held over, which suggests to me he would be very close to being selected. I thought, look, again, it was against Port Melbourne, and they are a proud standalone club, but really like what I saw in the VFL on the weekend. But it was not, you know what, it was not the players that we've seen there for the last couple of seasons go, oh yeah, they played a good game. It was Charlson, it was Moya, it was, Matt, I'll tell you what, Bucky said it in his review, and Frankie Evans played the best game of a reserves player we've seen at Carlton this year. He was brilliant on the weekend.
Really?
Brilliant.
Yeah, wow.
He was brilliant. People will call me crazy. I'd like to see him play tomorrow night.
As in you're saying he played well enough to knock down the door and earn a spot
he was
over.
clearly the best on ground, but by a mile.
Wow.
By
Yeah,
a
right.
mile. I'd like to see him get another go. Look, people will call me crazy, but I think there's something there with him. I genuinely think there is. Whether or not it comes to fruition, the pressure of AFL, I don't know. We haven't seen it just yet, but Cowan was good as well at run and gun, and he was slaloming between players, and he was getting the ball, and he had 25 touches, and he looked really dangerous. But we don't see that at AFL level. Does he have the freedom? Does he have the license?
So this was my next question to you, right? Like Ashton, we're going to watch his highlights shortly. Played a bit more through the midfield. I'm like, are we going to see that type of style if he plays tomorrow? And then Cowan, a lot of run and carry. Are we going to see him play like that?
This is what I want. You know what I want tomorrow? I'll tell you what I want. Don't play with a defeatist attitude. Don't look. What's the fucking point of being conservative tomorrow night? Who fucking cares? Like, play aggressive. Like, make moves that are aggressive. Like, put Moyer in the middle. I don't know. He might only be in there for 5 minutes. Like, we've seen the Motlop experiment in the middle. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. It ain't going to work. Get Moyer in there. Look, his tank is it's not a concern. It's something he just needs to work on. It's like any player. Any player has got things that they need to work on, and that's what he needs to work on. So, and maybe it's. Oh, I hope not. I don't want to see him a sub. Please don't say that. Please don't. Don't. I don't want to see that. Playing Flynn Young as a sub was. I don't like debutants as subs. So it's not to me. I don't think, in my view, it just doesn't promote the right message. Look at Charlie West last week.
True.
The thing is, if a debutant comes on and does something early in the game, it sparks you all to life. Something to get around.
True.
You know what I mean? And that's what was disappointing about last week. And if Moyer comes into the team, he's developed. If he does something well early and he's playing, bang, it sparks you up. So, look, the frustrating thing for me now is if you just look at it as Team A and Team B, it's hard to mount a case for us at the moment. We're in a really bad slump, like everybody knows. But we just need something to. There's just been nothing to roar. Like you said, there's been nothing to roar about.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying that a win tomorrow fixes anything, but we kind of got to get back to the basics of going to the footy and getting behind something.
Mate,
no, like it's about.
I just want to walk away from a game. I haven't walked away. There's only been one game this year where I've walked away proud, and it was the Geelong game. And then after that, it's just been diabolical since, right? But they just haven't come. Like they haven't sparked us.
Yeah.
Like there's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
We're there. It's guys, come on, we're here. Hello, do something, please.
Yeah, we're going to travel tomorrow on trains and trams and cars and be fucking freezing tomorrow night to get there.
You know what really irks me and frustrates me and upsets me is that there have been, and I've seen it on my socials, and I saw the text today that people. When is the last time you have seen staunch Carlton supporters give away tickets for a Carlton Collingwood game?
Bro, not like this. I literally have not seen it like this.
No, yeah. People can't sell them. They're giving them away.
Yeah, man. Away, I've got a couple of giveaway tonight. Yeah. I had a block of 4 sent to me. I've got a block of 2 to give away, and someone
who's
just
that
messaged
on?
me.
That's not representative or reflective of us, I don't think. People are at their wits' end, and I was actually people are at their wits' end to a point. I know, we're a fascinating case study as a football club, and Gerard Whateley said it at work. And the last 30 years, we're probably the most. If you look at us through a lens, we're the most fascinating case study as a sport organisation in Australia, I'd have thought, and a football club. I was actually having a chat to Paul Baz today over the phone. See, that brings a smile to your face.
It does. I actually spoke to him recently too. He's broken him that man as well.
And he is, like, I'm talking, he is as staunch as anybody can get. staunch. Says it as it is. Says it as it is, right? And we were discussing today that this game tomorrow night, like it's there's almost nothing, not nothing to look forward to, but you're trying to find something. You can't see anything. You can't grasp it. Okay, there's just nothing. There's nothing there.
Bucky, in his preview, I watched it earlier today, and he talked about like the maze. It's like every corner you turn, you try and find something like, oh fuck, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end, dead end. You just, I've felt like that for a couple. I think the North game for me, I thought, all right, one last little push, like could be 7-7 here, and who knows what happens. And then that was nothing. And then last week was obviously even worse. And it's really interesting.
There's just a sense of, oh well.
It's not how we would have liked. Yeah. But it went from we've got time, it's early in the season, to we're not where we want to be. Now we're looking. It's like, hang on, what about that little bit in the middle there? What about that bit there? You know,
the moment the coach and players started saying that was just, oh no, like even look, Weeders was with Waitley the other day, and you know, we put a headline up, and you know, people can say it's you take the headline out of context and you do this, like it. I listened back to his interview like I always do with anything Carlton related, right? And then I read the article again. I listened back to it again. And our headline was 8 weeks to find the purpose. And I tweeted that today, right? Asking the question, well, what's been the purpose for the whole year? What now you need to find a purpose? And then he went on, but it was like the answer to it, getting to that point it was fluff, 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 fluff. Oh, we realized that we need to win. Like it was fluff, 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 fluff. And then we realized we need to win. And people will say that the headline provides no context and takes Jacob Weitering out of context, right? In my estimation, the headline actually takes weight off what he said. The headline actually does him a favor.
Right.
The headline does him a favor. So you're looking at this scenario. You're a leader, right? You're a vice captain. You're a leader of the back line. You should always have a purpose, right? And that to a point, you know, if you're a good, it's tweaked depending on what the situation was. But if someone asks you that question, that answer of what our purpose is, that should be there just like that. You shouldn't have to be media trained. You shouldn't have to fluff around it. It should just be there in your purview. You should know straight away what to answer. It shouldn't just be fluff, 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 and then get to it. I know it might be something so small, but there's just no assertiveness with what we want to do.
I think also now, let's just say they find the right phrase, or they find the right message, or they find the right move to make. We're in this really weird spot where no matter what happens, the trust is broken. So it's really hard for a supporter base to get fully behind a club's decision. And I think that's maybe why the only little bit of trust left seems to be whatever Graham Wright's going to do. But it's just going to be really hard to get the supporters on board of a message, because there's just no trust.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
and how could there be? And how could there be? So like the finding your purpose in theory and in isolation, it is actually the right thing to say. But as you said, shouldn't it already have?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Like,
that's
so
what
I get.
I mean.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
And that's where I've been. I'm like, it's a merry-go-round at this point. We're about to, if we lose badly, 10+ goals for the next couple of games, it's like, I know they said that they'll stick by Voss, but I mean,
look, there's a threshold with everything, right?
Yeah.
if we're at a point where it's done, like mathematically over, finished, kaput, I mean, what use is there prolonging that if you know he's probably not going to be your man? That's the query, is it not? So, I mean, it's we probably know how it's going to end. Does that mean everybody becomes demotivated and no one's really putting in what they should be? Probably. I think that's just natural human reaction. But it shouldn't be. You know, we're look, that answer that Weeders gave, it was not like, it's not. I wasn't angry. Like, it's not it's just more. It just stems from a frustration that there's a lack of assertiveness and direction when it comes to those kind of. And I think that stems to the way in which we play. To be honest, so look, 8 weeks to find the purpose. I don't know. To me, it just didn't seem, even the context around it, if you go and look at it, I actually think the context makes it look even worse, to be quite frank. But again, is that me being swayed because results have not gone our way? If he comes out and says that while we're winning, which he probably won't, but the problem is that with that kind of attitude, is that conducive of winning long term? That's the question, and probably not, because it's not been proven. What he's saying and the attitudes have proven that we don't win long term.
If you were Jacob's, I don't know, advisor, or if you were the media manager and you were sitting with him saying, "Hey, all right, you're about to go on air with Jared," like, what would you have said to him? Like, all right, make sure you hit this, and this.
Oh, if they were to ask about what's the purpose of the next from now until the end of the season?
As in, like, before Jacob goes to air, you're his advisor. Like, what would you?
Okay.
Yeah. What are you telling him?
Well, the first thing you address is you're probably going to get a question about the head coach.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get a question about the head coach, and I think you say, well, he's got a few things wrong. We've got a few things wrong. Obviously, we're backing him despite those results, and the way in which we're playing is probably not showing that, and we've got to take onus as a playing group. But you've got to, in those scenarios, you kind of have to, as a player and as a leader, he's got to take ownership and deflection to a certain point, because that's just how it is, isn't it? Right? If he's really, really honest and really wants to be honest, he'd say what he really thinks, which is probably, don't know about him. I'm not too sure if he's probably thinking what we're all thinking. You're going to be the coach next year? Probably not. So what do? Do you go the full truth, or do you go down the path of, don't go all the way in because nothing's been officially announced yet? We all know what's coming. We all know what's coming.
Yeah, it's got a bit of writing on the wall. I mean, the writing was on the wall last Friday morning, 1 a.m., wasn't it?
Literally, wasn't it? Quite literally.
Although the writing said keep boss.
Yeah, well, it might have been a family member of his. Who knows? It may have been Michael himself. But again, like with the whole purpose, like, to me, it's just a very simple answer. Not even thinking about the end of the season yet. We're thinking about Friday night. We've got a massive rivalry coming up. We need to do our fans proud, whether win, lose, or draw. We need to get them walking away from the ground with something. We need to win all our games. That's our purpose. Win all our games from now till the end of the year. Nothing changes. We came into this year wanting to play finals. We still come into this game wanting to play finals, and we want to win the last 8 games. Whether or not that's a realistic opportunity, whether or not that's probable, whether or not we're going against the odds, irrespective of that. Like, that just should always be the answer.
I think you've nailed that.
It's not even it's not even a question in my mind. That should be the first answer. There should be no fluff around it. And that's not even that shouldn't even have to be media trained. If as a club you're focused and you're fully aligned with that kind of thinking. But unfortunately they're not. So plus we got a whole heap of introverts at that club as well. Let's be frank.
Pat, you and I were at training. That thing was a morgue.
Mate.
That was sad, man. That was a sad. Usually I go to training and it gives me something.
Nah.
That one.
Well, I just looked at you. You looked at me. I just said, "Oh well, you just pissed yourself."
As soon as Charlie went off the field, off for training, like, that whole session just seemed really quiet. Like, just.
Well, it was just quiet. Period.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, I told them as such too. Like, there was didn't abuse them. There was no swearing. It's not But look,
No.
the frustration for me is that if you're a coach and you're setting a standard and you want communication and voice and people to be part of a drill and actually buy into what you're doing, maybe ask them to. Probably first point of call.
Yeah.
No one was. Like, people hands on hips, heads down, walking to their spots in the drill. Walking. And, you know, I told them, get some voice into the bloody drill. Get some voice into training.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave you to it, mate.
I will see you. Are you working tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow night? You're going to be.
Yeah, I'll be at the game in a fan watching capacity, mate. So
Just want to see you tomorrow, and you've come on, and you're like, "Fuck it, stick it up." And like, I want to see that. That's kind of.
When's the last time When's the last time we have had a backs against the wall proper win against a big rival, or a game in a big game, in a big occasion where we've just gone in and not been playing really well? It's all been on the back of momentum.
True. When's the last famous Carlton win? Okay, the finals. Fair enough.
We're playing well though. Like, I'm talking.
True. When's the last time we were down and out? It's a great question. When is the last time we were down and out?
This is the big one, mate. This is, you know, if you go line by line, again, like I said, with my analytical hat on, it's hard to make a case for us, right? Clearly, obviously. But something happened. Like, you just don't know what a win in this game could do. I don't. Look, no one knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. Maybe, like you say, are we asking for too much from these players, from this group?
Yeah.
Seems as though it's the case. Make of that.
Brisbane opening round, I think, was the last time that we had a famous victory when all chips were down. I mean, that was just the first game of the season, but still.
We'll see what unfolds tomorrow night, eh?
Mate, thank you as always for coming on.
My pleasure, mate. Nonna says to pray for them tomorrow night, so maybe she's the beacon of light for us tomorrow.
Nonna will fix Carlton.
Enjoy your night.
All right, Bello. See you, mate.
See you, mate. Go Blues.
Love that. It's the sliding door and it's the tiles on the wall for me. That's when you know. All right, Ben, I think I got you back here. Ben, are you a bomber? Mate, are you a bomber? What's going on there?
It's a Harvey Bay Bomber shirt on. I'm just off to the gym. Work my biscuit up.
How are you?
Yeah, really good. It could have been worse. I was about to book tickets 10 weeks ago to take the young fella to the G. Thank Christ I didn't do that.
Yeah, thank Christ you didn't do that, mate.
So, yeah, first of all, mate, I just saw that chat you done with Priestley the other day, and credit to you, mate. I really reckon that's a step in the right direction in just joining the club with the fans. Kudos, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I think everyone's got a perception of things. I think for me, it needs to not stop there. I think if we can get more comfortable doing that, then we can keep asking questions and keep hopefully getting some more answers. And end of the day, just do your very best that you can in the moment. And some people are going to like it, some people are not. That's just the nature of life. But I do think that they need to come to the party, and I've been banging on about it for a while. Even though nothing that he said is going to change perception of, okay, are we going to be good or are we not? I still think he needed to face a little something, and kudos to him, but it doesn't change a lot.
No, it's just I think it's a step in the right, if the fans buy into the club and we meet in the middle and then move forward in a positive way. I think the only way to go, playing the blame game for 10 or 15 years ago, you just go around in circles, and it just doesn't work. Obviously, look at us now, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's that circuit breaker that's needed. I mean, I was talking to Rocco the other day at the G, and we're talking about the line in the sand, and it's like, okay, but we've been talking about the line in the sand for for ages. So at this point, we've got a beach with just sand, no water.
Well, Well, I suppose I look back at looking at Vossi now. I suppose I look back, at the way the things. I just don't think we back to our strengths. It's going to sound really weird, but I remember when Vossi had his first game. It was against Melbourne. I don't know if you can remember that. We played him in a practice game.
Yep.
And we whacked out of the middle. We had Kennedy, we had Chera, we had Cripps. I think we had Pitto. And I looked at that and I thought, shit, you could just see it. And I think I'm not saying that they were going to take us to the promised land, but I think we went away too much from going what we were good at and got a bit confused along the way. And instead of batting to our strengths, I just don't think we batted to our strengths and become confused with our identity. I don't know what you reckon in that space. And it just seems to have evolved from there. If we had stuck to what we're good at, I still think it could have gone, because there were times in that 2022 year I thought I could just see things. Maybe I'm just delusional and mad, but I don't know what you think on that. But
mate, I've had my whole perception around Carlton and the rebuild and this and that. Like, it honestly, it's just been thrown so far up in the air, because I thought they had gotten over the big hump when they broke through middle of the year 23, and then they continued the form into the first 2/3 of 24. And I thought, okay, we've waited so long for the breakthrough. The breakthrough is here. They're never going to let it go. Who would ever let that go? And, 12 months after that GWS game, pretty much, we're actually coming up, round 17, 12 months later, like they literally have, they've dropped it. They've literally dropped the bundle, and they've broken the trust again. I thought they had earned it personally, and now I think they've broken it again collectively, like everyone.
So, like, a couple more things. I've got to get to the gym. A couple of things. I'm not one to blame the game. I suppose when you coach kids and you coach adults and whatnot, I suppose the philosophy is to make your teammates better. And I'm not a Motlop hater. Please, I know this isn't a bag the shit out of Motlop. We've got plenty of.
You there? You getting a call?
Hello?
Yeah, mate.
Hello? Gone?
No, I'm here.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? No. Ben? Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi. Ben, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, mate. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I'm waving. Ben? I'm going to put a new sound in here, and when that happens, it's going to be the Adele, hello, it's me. Hang on. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
I had a phone. Sorry about that. It may have been me, mate.
It was. You were getting a call.
I was, yeah, perfect timing. I was just saying, make your teammates, and this isn't a Motlop, there's thousands of examples, but you come out of that stoppage against Port Adelaide, out of the guts, and there was a 20-metre little chip kick, hit the target, and we're away. He went the banana kick. I think he went a banana, missed the goal, and then up the other end they go whack, 2 goals, game over. I don't know. You see more games than me live. Is it they don't do the simple things well?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I see. It's the fundamentals.
It's like the fundamentals have done so much right, and it sounds a bit weird, but they just, I don't know if it's game plan or execution under pressure or mindset, that it was just a prime example. A little chip, a 20-metre kick, hit the goal, one to zip upward, and who knows what could have happened, but it goes up the other end, goal, the head's dropping, it's game over. This isn't a bag Motlop session, but I just thought that summed us up for the whole year. Just that one.
Well, Charlie missing everything last week, I think, sums us up. $1 million player.
So, I suppose moving forward, I've seen young kids come through and be pigeonholed. I've seen a young kid at local football told you're not going to play, you're not good at this and not good at that, and finally get a go. Come on, best on ground, and turn a shit season into a top 3 best and fairest, and a club wins the flag. And I suppose when I look at what I see with local footy, I can see so many similarities with Carlton. Do you think Vossi's got it in with the guys like Billy Wilson, maybe Ashton Moyer, got the Camporelli boys come through? It's not looking at what you can't do, look at what you can do, adapt your game plan and start building around these boys and build some belief and, just not chuck them into no man's land, give them a role, give them some responsibilities, take the highs and the lows, because a positive tomorrow night, if those kids play and all of a sudden you see maybe a Harry O'Farrell, and obviously you get a balance with our experience through our youth. It could be you walk away and you think, maybe we got more than we realise. I don't know.
Are you happy if those kids play? Are you going to be willing to separate your anger at the bad results?
Absolutely.
To know
I would rather see that and see those kids develop and see an eye for the future than see, maybe I'd rather see them play, but obviously with a balance, you can't play all the kids, but I'd rather see that than Blake Acres turn it over 25 times. Sard, I think the game may have passed Sardi, and it's not a personal indictment on those blokes. They've given us good service, but there comes a point in time where the baton needs to be handed over with an eye to the future, but not, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I think we've got to realise where we're at and filtrating these kids come through and see if they're up to it or not.
I think we actually are seeing them, to be fair, though.
Yeah.
Like, how many more? Like, I wouldn't say we haven't seen. I think this time last year, that was the big criticism. We hadn't seen enough of them. And then we brought in Lord and Binns and Moya like really late in the year. This year, we've seen them. We're I don't know how many people on the list we've used, but I reckon it would be close to 36.
Yeah.
I think we've almost seen like close to 40. And there's maybe Ben and Lemmy who could debut that we haven't seen yet at all, but all the other kids I think have played. Anyway, I've got to go because the teams are in, so I've got to make the announcement.
You do too, mate. Thanks for the chat, buddy.
All right, Ben. Thank you, mate. All right. I've got super chats to get through as well. I've also got to give away a car for a day. And I have a winner that's been sent through. Okay. So, Channel 7. Teams are in. 5 changes. Wow. O'Farrell, Moya, Carroll, Cowan, Evans out. 6 changes. Pito. Wow. Okay. Out. Sard, Silvani. No surprise there. That was the injury. So Boyd, Young, Chincotta, and Wilson. Find out if Wilson's injured, because there was a bit of talk about him being injured, but I know that Silvani and Sard, well, that's 6 changes. That's now that's a statement. Sort of. I don't know if we've made 6 changes in a week before. Yeah, Boyd, I don't know. Boyd, I saw that he wasn't at training today. Changes out. Your tickets in, booking Grady at 7 p.m. Oh, no, I've lost the teams. Here, teams are here. I will put them up on screen in 2 minutes once they come live. Okay. I've also got a few of these. Frankie says, Sacks, back on the truck tomorrow. Last time you on the truck was the Geelong game. The vibes will be back. I'm going to wait a brief minute. Frankie, I need you to stay on this show if you can. Actually, what I need you to do, if you can, please, can you please click the link and join the show? That's what I need you to do. LS, 4-16 against the Pies in the last 20 games. They can't win these. Wow, 4-16. So what's that? 23? 21? Sam Walsh, fuck yeah. I reckon we beat him in 2017 and maybe 16. They can't win these big games. They've been showing us for years who they really are. We ignored it. There. Guess they think Dacos is a big task for Chincotta. Sonny, you think that they're gutless changes. Wow, fair enough. Joel, you think they are great changes. All right. Flynn playing. Yeah, Flynn Young was not dropped. Lewis Young, I think, is out. The teams will come up on screen any minute. They will post them. Lineups. Yeah, still waiting. I'll get them up on screen ASAP for us all. And we'll go from there. I would love for the kids to be fire and bring the energy. It looks like it's going to be baby blues. Lots of kids out there. You feel for Pom Cotter, his roles are as much the issue as the player. Yeah. Yeah, I just think at this point, if he's not tagging, I'm not sure what role he's got, which is tough because he's just only doing what he's asked to do. Yeah. Lou, Ben Campo should have been picked. Moya, hooray. LS, you do have some inside knowledge today. Well, you are welcome to come and share it. Anyone can come on. The link is in the live chat. Anybody can come on and share their thoughts. Just click that link right there. Teams are out on the AFL app. All right, let's check the website. Yep, teams are out. All right, here we go. Give me 1 minute. Oh, you guys can't really see that, can you? Is that better? Whatever. So, Cowan, Moya, Carroll, Evans, O'Farrell, Pitto in. It doesn't say why some of these players are out. Boyd, Sard, Silvani, Chincotta, Wilson, Young out. So, on the field, Doherty, back pocket, Wiedering, Lockie Cowan. Good to see him back. Ollie Hollins, Nick Haynes, Adam Chera. Interesting named on halfback there. In the centre line, Orazio named on the wing with Cripps and Akers. Half forward line, Motlop, McGovern, Fogarty. Full forward, Zach Williams, Charlie Kerno, Ashton Moyer. So you would think he won't be the sub. Followers, DeConing, Lord, Hewitt. Interchange, Matt Carroll, Flynn Young, Francis Evans, Harry O'Farrell, and Mark Pitternet. Wow. Emergencies of Billy Wilson, Corey Durden, and Lewis Young. And for the Pies, Charlie Dean, Ed Allen, Charlie West, still side bottom out. Maynard, Steele, who is playing his first game. Tom Mitchell, first game back from injury. And Will Parker. All right. What do we think? What do we think? Carroll or Flynn sub? Sardin Savani only ones. LS. Oh, yeah, you had the inside knowledge. Probably doesn't say much, but Collingwood players are looking to sink the boots in tomorrow night. Expect a much more switched on performance than what they dished up against West Coast. Yeah. I don't know if I missed another one of your comments, but yeah. Oh, Anton. Oh, yeah. 2 free tickets to Carlton v Collingwood as well with the giveaway and the free navy blue Mustang. Okay, so guys, Anton is the owner of Drive Melbourne. I have the name and the number of the person who I'm about to give a blue Mustang to for a day, thanks to Anton and Drive Melbourne. I'm going to call him right now and also offer him 2 free tickets. Pick up the phone.
Hello.
Hello, Frankie.
Summoned by the Terry Degani himself. How's it going,
mate? I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I was just watching the show. I was about to go into the I've forgotten how to speak. I was going to go into the StreamYard link.
Would you want to go into the StreamYard link and we can continue this conversation?
Sure, I will do that.
We'll see you in a bit. See you in a moment. All right, mate. So Frankie won the car. When he comes in, we'll get him in. All right, we'll get him in. Frankie.
Oh, how are we doing,
mate? We're good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about the team, but
Yes,
I'm
go on.
excited about the team. I'm excited to see you playing the saxophone on the truck tomorrow. And I'm excited to let you know that you've won the Mustang for a day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, man. And, well, I don't know, you might already have tickets, but you've also won 2 tickets to the game.
Oh, amazing. I didn't actually have tickets.
What, you were going to
I
play
was
on
gonna-
you were going to play on the car and then go home?
Well, I was going to potentially sneak in or something, or the guy on the truck has like an AFL membership, and he let me in last time, but I couldn't get tickets. So yeah, that's very exciting news.
Mate, you want a car for a day? Just want to make sure I'm really clear on that.
Yep, that seems insane. That's going to be very fun.
Yeah, I'll connect you to Anton, and he will sort you out, and you can pick your date that you want the car for, and then you can drive around in your blue Mustang and watch the absolute slaughterhouse performance tomorrow night.
Come on, you can't be the downer. You're the voice of optimism.
I'm optimistic that we're going to see fight and spirit tomorrow. I don't know if we'll win, if I'm being honest, but I think we'll see some fight.
But to like what is almost the catchphrase on this show, wouldn't it be the most Carlton thing?
Would it though?
No, it wouldn't. It absolutely wouldn't. We're
I
going
don't know if it
to
would.
get absolutely trounced, but it's fine. It's going to be a good time. Thank you so much for the car. That's amazing.
No worries. Congratulations and thanks for entering.
Yes. Thank you.
And guys, if you're at the MCG tomorrow, go past the car, and the beautiful man on the saxophone is this guy here. Give him, can we give you a little fist bump? Like what can we give
Come
you a
up,
point?
say hi, or a wave, or you chuck stuff at me for what it's worth. I don't mind.
All right. All right. I will make sure to come past and give you a little one of these ones tomorrow.
Yeah, hell yeah. Please do.
All right, mate. Thank you once again.
Done. Thank you. That's awesome. You've made my day.
There you go, my friend. Go Blues.
Cheers. Go Blues.
See ya. Great guy. Aiden.
Oh. Hey, Terry.
What are we going to get from you right now that the changes have come out, mate?
No, I like them. I don't mind.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him too.
Yeah, I can't lie. I actually want a Pitto win. I personally would have dropped TDK because he's been off the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I think after the last time we played them, Cameron slaughtered TDK, and I feel like Pitto's a great matchup for him. So yeah, I actually don't mind them. There's no reason to be upset, angry, or excited.
Do the Pies? I'm just trying to look here. Who will be the Pies next? Like, is McStay their backup ruck? I'm trying to Coxie's not playing. Cameron and I guess it would be McStay. Interesting. I don't know. Who's your sub? To be honest, I thought it was going to be Moya. I thought they would bring him in and make him the sub, but I'm glad that he's named on the field, so it looks like he's going to start.
Probably Matt Carroll, to be honest with you.
Matt Carroll, the sub?
Yeah. Because they're definitely not. It could be Flynn Young again, but I wouldn't really do that. It definitely won't be O'Farrell.
I reckon it might be Young or Evans because there's that's a surplus of forwards.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because I was looking at, I'm like, far out. We're playing a lot of small forwards, so yeah, probably be Flynn Young or Frankie Evans. So
they wouldn't put Pitto as a sub, right?
No way. The last time that we put a ruckman as a sub, it went badly wrong. No way.
Ruck is the sub, mate.
Do you think we've gone in too tall, forward line wise, or nah? Moya, Kernan, McGovern, TDK going in there as well.
No, I mean Moya. Okay, so Fogarty, Motlop would be considered smalls. I mean Zach Williams plays as a small forward, but he's a bit more medium. Ashton is a bit medium. I don't know, man. I don't think it's too tall. I don't think it's raining tomorrow either.
Well, that's good then. We're not going to take Dacos tomorrow.
Pito as the sub to come on in the third and add a little bit of zip around stoppage.
I don't think we're going to take Dacos tomorrow.
I don't think we're going to be tagging at all tomorrow.
No, I think it's going to be head-to-head, and yeah, it looks like he'll grab 50 touches and 1,000 goals. It looks of it, but nah.
Do you think we should be playing a tagger? Like, would you like? Because Paul came on, I actually agree with Paul. Paul was saying, don't play with a defense. Obviously, you've got to have a defensive mindset, but don't have that loser mentality type mindset. Like, go out there and take it to him. And I think by playing a tagger, you're conceding not only that the opposition player is going to beat you, but you're also taking and removing one of your own players. So
yeah, I don't think we should be tagging in general. Like, why were we tagging against West Coast North and Port Adelaide? What for? I don't get why we'd be tagging, but I feel like we will be a bit more competitive tomorrow. So
can we win?
So that. Oh yeah, our piss poor. I agree with him. I don't think we should be tagging. I do think we will be a bit more competitive tomorrow. I feel like we will be going out there more attacking mindset. None of this defensive minded shit that we always do. But again, let's see how hungry they are. Because I don't think that they care about the rivalry as much compared to Collingwood, which is really disappointing. So. I mean, I understand that they've gotten the wood over us the last few years, but again, why would you take the Essendon rivalry seriously when you've got a bigger rivalry that has over 150 years worth of history that you don't really acknowledge as much? So,
do you reckon if they put out a video like Collingwood did, like how what does this mean to you guys? Do you think you would be satisfied?
Yeah, like I'd acknowledge it a little bit because for the last few years, like they haven't really acknowledged it as much. Only Essendon, and I'm not too sure why. Like I get they bring out the old players and all that, but there hasn't really been like a modern day player that we have. Even Silvani, none of them have mentioned that they dislike Collingwood, that they understand how much the rivalry means to them. Like Cripps and Wiedering mentioned yesterday that it's a big game, big occasion, and all that, but. I want more than that. Like I want what Darcy Moore said, what Maynard has said the last few years, like because it seems to me that they've kind of made it dead. Like it's kind of just another game to them to an extent.
One thing I've learned about this Carlton and Collingwood rivalry is that I used to really project about it too, and then I kind of stopped. And the reason is the generation before me, my mum and so on and so forth, like told me about the rivalry. Let's be honest, you and I haven't really seen big finals against Collingwood, grand finals, like the games that actually we've seen a couple of heartbreaking games against the Pies, and our version of the rivalry and our memories are so different to the memories of those who, were there for the 70s and the 80s and the like. Yeah. So, and the players are no different. They don't have those memories of those big games against them. And
I understand that, but you can also say the same thing for the Collingwood players as well.
You could, but they've been winning the games. We haven't.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean now. But
I think LS put it in the chat earlier. We're 4 and 16 in our last 20, so it's easier to say, the rivalry means so much when you win 16 of your last 20.
Yeah,
I think the best way to represent the rivalry is beat Collingwood tomorrow. Then talk about how important it was for our fans, and we knew the fans really wanted it. Like you can jump onto it by doing the winning part first. I think what we find ourselves in at the moment is we want to hear them talk the talk and walk the walk, but they can't even walk. They can't even take a baby step at this point.
Yeah, without getting hammered.
Yeah, we want them to talk like adults, and they don't even know how to walk it. They can't even wipe their own ass at the moment, bro.
Yeah, but look, I feel like after a tough 2 weeks, if you can get it done against a side like Collingwood that a lot of us don't really like, then I think that would probably light a little spark between everyone. But I really doubt it. But
that's the key right there, right? Cripps post game beat Collingwood. First thing, we know how much this means to our fans. We've been really disappointing with our performances the last few weeks. We're really committed. We want them to stick fat, and hopefully tonight we can build a little bit of belief off this. Like for me, that's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if we beat them tomorrow, and if he says that, then we're not going to be back. Like no way. Like the season's
No.
done. But
well,
yeah, but yeah. Look, if we can beat them tomorrow, and it just lights a little spark going into Brisbane. But again, when we bet them in 2023, it meant a lot to them based off how they celebrated it. So yeah, we'll just have to see.
And us too. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that.
That was fucking. That was a special night. It was a good night, like really good night. I was sitting next to Jad that night. It was great.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't go to that game. Wow.
Were you? But I don't know. When did we meet you? When have you come into the Blue Abroad? I don't think you were coming on the streams back then.
No, I found you in 2021, but I didn't come on the streams. I think until last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a bit quiet in 2023. But yeah, I don't know why. If I came on in 2023, yeah, if I came on that semi-final, you would have seen me in Flinders Street running on the fucking road. But yeah, then again, I'm here now. But let's just see what we do tomorrow,
mate. Inshallah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
We need every god tomorrow.
We need everything tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then some. All right, man. I will see you soon. See you tomorrow.
So done. See ya.
All right, man. Bye. Tom.
What's going on, bud?
Mate, I'm good. How are you?
Getting settled. Yeah, good. What's going on?
Oh, mate, we are, I don't know, 6 changes. That's what's going on.
6 changes. Yeah, I think the mood's set with Chin Cotter going out. I think they're going to go back to George Hewitt tagging. I think he's going to play a bit more of that sort of on-ball role. Then they're going to try and, because watching a few Collingwood games, when they tag Dacos, he just makes space for them out the front of the contest. And I think putting George Hewitt on him, they'll try and negate that a bit. Instead of just being a tagger, they'll just go head-to-head with him a bit. Because Chin Cotter doesn't get enough of the ball when he tags, unfortunately, where
I don't mind
Hewitt does.
And I think what they've also, look, based on how the teams look on paper, I'll just bring them up again. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let me bring up the teams, just the Carlton teams, so we can actually see. Whoa, guess who's on the thumbnail?
Moya.
Yeah, that's
Ashton.
right. That's right. That's right.
I'm not thrilled that he's named at the forward pocket. I really hoped he would have been named on the wing or high half forward, because that's where he's been playing in the Rezzies.
Fair.
And I think that sort of opened his game up a bit more to go for a few more CBAs. But yeah, I guess they can't just throw him straight into the Lions straight away. But I guess Zach Williams is also named as a forward pocket. So
yeah, I think he'll have his moments.
And I think that's where Vossi's press conference was quite big today. He did sort of make a note to name the kids and say that they're going to get a lot more game time and a lot more chance to show what they've got. So I think, I don't really like Billy Wilson going out of the side, but you can't just have a complete young team playing in our back line with Wiedering, essentially, because then you just open yourself up to just a mauling. They're very, very smart forwards, the Collingwood players. So you don't want to open up too many kids to that, and then you run into that issue. So I think they've sacrificed Billy there, unfortunately, because they've got Chera on the half-back line. So see how we go.
Well, yeah, it looks like they're going to give Cooper Lord a little bit more responsibility.
Yep. He needs to take that responsibility, because he's almost sort of playing for his footy life a bit. I think Cooper Lord, he's going to be one of those ones. So? I think he's going to be one of the ones that they're going to put on the cusp, because if he doesn't take that next step, I think they're really looking to see him jump into that midfield role a bit more. That's not my opinion. I really like Lordy, the way he goes about it, but I just think you can just sort of see how he's been put on the outer in the last few weeks, that if he was still getting game times, you'd expect him to be playing more in the middle if the coaches sort of valued him a bit more. That's just sort of how I sort of feel about that situation, because the guys in there aren't getting it done. So there's got to be a reason for why he's sort of been put on the outer a bit, like getting subbed out and that sort of thing. So
fair.
But yeah, hopefully
Will you
Frankie
be-
does some good things, kick some goals because he's been showing it in the twos. So they just got to bring that across.
Will you be there tomorrow?
I will be there. Everyone's left me. I'm going by myself. My mates
You're
don't want a
kidding.
bar of it. Don't want a bar of it. They don't want it. Yeah. So I'll be sitting there on my lonesome. So hopefully it'll be a good reason to go and have a bit of fun. So
Mate, you're sticking fat. I love it.
always, isn't that that's what we got to do, isn't it? That's what we got to do as fans, stick fat.
Just buy in, bro.
That's it. That's what we're here for. We're the problem.
No, everyone's the problem.
I
Oh
know.
man.
No,
Everything is the problem and everyone is the problem.
Yeah,
But
we just got to keep showing up. That's all we got to do. That's our prerogative.
everyone can also be a little bit of the solution.
Oh, absolutely. They always tell us to bring the noise, and if they get a good start on, that noise will be there. So
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just got to show up, and so do they.
Game day tomorrow, midday.
Yeah, I'll be at work. So yeah, why not jump on?
Right. See you at lunchtime.
See you then, bud.
All right, mate. Only Carlton.
What's up, bro?
Bro, what's going on? 6 changes. Let's go, man. Come
Well,
on.
I'm hyped. I'm actually really happy with the changes. I'm
Let's
glad
go.
there's change. The only thing I would have liked to see as well is Akers being dropped, just to like send that message, that selection integrity message, where if your effort isn't there, you know what I mean, you get dropped regardless if you're a senior player or not. But other than that, I think it's great. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
So I'm just looking now in the Carlton. Hang on, let me share this. If I share this screen here, which I don't know if it really comes up properly for those watching along at home, but Boyd, Chincotta, Young, and Wilson are omitted, and then Silvani and Saad are injured. So I don't know, those of you who are watching on your TVs, if this actually looks good. But yeah, that's the team.
Yeah, like we dropped Boyd, Young, Wilson. I don't think Wilson should have been dropped, but again, it is that feeling of like, if you do play too many kids, it feels like you're sending them. Feels like they're lambs going to a slaughter. Like,
well, Cowan and Carroll are there. I don't know if you can fit Wilson into that back 6/7 with Cowan and Carroll.
Yeah, no, fair. And plus, Flynn is still in as well. So I mean, it's still a good mix.
Carroll, Cowan, Moya, Lord. Pretty young. O'Farrell.
Yeah, O'Farrell's in as well. Yeah.
So
look, I just don't want. Again, we're playing kids. I'm happy. Right, this is what I wanted, but I just don't want because they're still young. I don't want their confidence to be affected if we go out and get smashed. Like Moya came in last time against Collingwood early in the year, and he had 1 touch. You know what I mean? Like, again, like I feel like their confidence has to be a factor as well, playing into like a game like this with this could be 85,000 people there, mainly Collingwood supporters. I'm assuming, booing the Collingwood chant. Like, I just hope they perform. I just hope we're not playing too many kids as well. But again, I wanted to see kids, and we're seeing kids. So hyped.
So what's the expectation? What do you expect? Is there an expectation tomorrow?
I feel like there's always an expectation. Why would you watch the footy if you think you're going to lose? Like, I want us to win, but I think if we're going to respond any week in the next 8 weeks, it'll be this one.
Well, the easiest way to get any form of buy-in is win tomorrow.
100%.
Like
100%.
we might then lose to Brisbane, but like if you want to like pretend like you've found some buy-in, and if you want to spark something, like not to say spark something that will win the flag this year or play finals this year or anything like that, but like if you want to spark something for the future, it can start tomorrow.
Definitely. It'll cause that buy-in that they want. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like the fans and the players, the coaches, there's so many groups that are fractured right now, separated. I feel like this will bring a lot of people in. This will bring a lot of unity if we get up and win.
Oh man. So Paul asked earlier, when was the last time we had like a famous Carlton victory where we were the heavy underdog? And literally, I think it was that Brisbane opening round game. And then before that, I don't know. What do you remember as like backs against the wall, heavily not the favorite. I know we beat the Giants by 1 point 2017.
I remember that 2019 game. Sorry to cut you off. That Brisbane
right.
game. That Brisbane Bolton got sacked. Teague's first
Yep.
game.
Yep.
I remember that vividly. I was like 14 watching that, and I don't think I'll ever forget that game. Cripps had like 4 goals, 38 disposals. You know, that was a great. But other than that, there hasn't been many.
Do you know, I had just come back to Australia after living overseas for a couple of years, right? And that was the first game I came back to. And in my head, as you can imagine, I'm like, oh my God, perfect. Like, this is it. I've timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Look, it'll definitely be a game, but hope we get up, man. The scenes if we get up.
Man, the edit that you're gonna make if we get up.
That's it. I've been waiting. I've been dying to make a good edit, man. You know how hard it is when we just play like shit. Even our last 2 wins haven't been convincing. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't even care about the edits, bro. Like I say this all the time, right? Like, I would stop social media entirely if these guys just started winning games. If that's what it took, I would throw it on my platform.
No, I don't think you need to do that.
No, I don't. If that's what it cost, if they were like, if I don't know, if Carlton called me tomorrow and be like, we'll start playing good, but you have to delete your account, I'm deleting it.
Oh, if Carlton called me and said, we'll win the flag if you stop the channel. Yeah, but how am I supposed to trust that they'll win the flag if I stop the channel?
It's like a guarantee. It's a hypothetical. The guarantee that we're winning the flag. We're winning 3 flags in the next 5 years.
Oh, if it was guaranteed? Yeah, tomorrow. Done. See you later.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Bye.
But yeah, excited. Going to the game tomorrow as well.
Are we there? Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Sort of. But like I'm bracing, but also, you know, like you said, no one's going tomorrow without that little bit in their mind, just a little bit like, what if I'm here when they do something magical? Even if it's 0.001% in your head, it's in your head.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, no one goes to the footy to lose, man. Like, come on.
No.
We're Carlton supporters. We all have delusion in us.
I think that's part of the story, isn't it?
Correct. 100%.
Man,
anyways,
I will speak to you tomorrow.
See you. Thanks for having me on.
Bye. All right, man. Anytime. Okay. Let's watch some Ashton Moir highlights from last week. And then I've got 2 tickets to give away tomorrow. Where is he? Ashton Moir. Let's have a look and see what the young fella did. This was last week.
Adjacent to Ashton Moir, coaching from the bench. Moir's going to chip the kick wide and hit it again. He's winning the battle of the 27s at this stage.
To scoot away from Graham, puts a bit of pressure on, but he hits the target this time. It's Moir. He's got a couple of options floating forward. The clever Fitzparsons is one.
This season,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Moir away from a stunt dive from Collingwood East to get ready for his return to Port. And they've certainly liked having his ball use down.
His kick partly smothered. Awkward bounce beat heard.
That helps as well. Evans to Stevens. And Moir lengthens beautifully. That's what you want to see from the Navy Blues.
Great vision there on the Brady.
Hello.
Replay. Scores level now. The Blues to try and... This game hangs in the balance, and in some ways 2 seasons do as well. Lucas Campriali off to Moir from long range, and the Blues go bang. They're back in front.
Last quarter. Moir with 2 now. The second seen on the Stevens. Turned in the Rankin tackle. Moir.
Was a hold against Rankin. Heath Ramshaw just bounced to his feet. Saw the opportunity. Body work done early by Moir on Watson. Great use of the body to try and slot it through. He's going to go with the drop punt from the pocket. And that is the strength of his game. He is a beautiful finisher. Ashton Moir's kicked 15-4 for the year.
Evans Hogg stripped. Cleaning up. Campriali. Composed ball. 1-on-1. Moir v. Watson. Ashton Moir Kick the first of the last. He might have the last say.
Be a cracker. Moyer, he's booted for, beating there, flooded back. Quick kick by Miller, bounces towards the pocket. Well done, Moyer, who's pushed back.
Okay.
Christian Moyer.
Okay. Who else came in? I've got highlights for them. I've got Francis Evans. This was the game. This was the one. This was the game that, not a popular name, but he had arguably the best game in the VFL all year. Let's have a look.
He elects not to. Evans, Ramshaw, the 1-2. Floats a kick to half forward. Beautiful pick up, Evans. Kick did him no favours. It's the kick wide. It went to a 2-on-1. Burrow have the numbers. Evans has the tackle on Matt Garn. Good. Drives to Lemmy is the target. Punched away by Graham. Good front and centre from Evans. Kicks it to space. Chance here for Durden. Can he flip it over the top? Stevens. Bins again. Goes to half forward. Evans will have to fly. Does it well. Gave up some size to Josh Sparkman with the tackle. Dozzy. Hurd. Harassed by Evans. Goldstein's thoughts on it in a moment. How it played out in the opening term. Evans.
Tricky one to trap here for Binns. Carl met Solderly. 6 wasn't expecting to be playing footy this weekend. Magnificent kick to Evans. Can that open up something for the Blues in search of their second?
At speed. Phipps Parsons, magnificently done. Off to Evans. Can he finish? Goes for it. Can he sneak it home? Great grab. Going back with the flight. And Will White kicks the goal. Drives it deep inside 50. Where are the crummers for the Blues? Evans.
Durden turns. Kicks instinctively into the hands of Evans. It's 14 for the season at VFL level. Blues have got the lead.
And that has been the challenge for Corey Durden. Consistency both in his body and form over the years. Riley's kick inside 50. And Evans takes the grab. But their front half connection, Todd, this quarter's been much better.
Yeah, they just go much more direct.
So Evans' chance to kick his second for the quarter. Got it. Blues lead by 11 points.
Longer. Paul with numbers here. Rossman had set himself. Evans, he's a problem right now in the front half. Van Ness has crept a metre towards Durden there, who hits Evans, who is the man in the front half.
Weight off this one. Where does it spill? To the front. Evans turns tackler on Van Ness.
Ramshaw, wide for Evans in the Carl spot. Unselfish. Phipps Parsons.
Teams. Charleston's kick. Over the top came Alessio. Ball in dispute inside 50. Hurd. Rankin run down. Great tackle, Evans. 8 goals, 13 this season. From 49 metres. On its way, it's perfect. And the Blues are back in front. Todd Goldstein, this has been a game of responses as we see the Chemist Warehouse replay.
Port have got to find a stop, a goal, and then another one quick. And that will not help.
All right. All right. I see what he's doing there. He's putting the work in. All right. It is time. It's time to give away some tickets. I've got 2 tickets to give away. All right. Now, members. Well, first of all, are there any members of Blue Abroad who need tickets to the game tomorrow? The ones that I've got to give away, I believe, they are level 1. Hang on a minute. Where's Debbie? Deb, if you're still here, hang on. Okay. Level 1, AFL Reserve, row F. 2 of them. 2 of them. So are there any members of Blue Abroad who need 2 tickets, reserve tickets, level 1, row F, AFL reserve tomorrow? Yes or no? I want to sort of weed out if anyone's actually going to be interested in taking 2 tickets. Rob, not for you. I'm trying to figure out. I can't believe we're at round 17 and I might struggle to give away tickets to Collingwood games. These are free. John, not for you. All right, 2 tickets to hell. Don't you have to be an AFL member to sit in the reserve? No. Look, I want to spin the wheel. I would love to spin the wheel. I don't know if I'm going to have anyone to spin the wheel about. So if I can find at least 2 people who are members, then I will put 2 names in the list and spin the wheel. Okay, Brody, 1. All right. Okay, I got to write some names down. If I can find 1 more yes from a member, then give them to the homeless. Okay, you know what, Brody? If I don't get a okay, there's 2. All right, we officially have a wheel. We have 2 names. If there are any members, Archo, can you become a member? Then say yes. Yes, you can. You can. The link to become a member is linked in the live chat. You get entry to every giveaway, whether it's tickets, prizes, whatever it is. So right now there's 2 people who we're giving this to. That's the link right there to become a member. It's $10 per month, right? So, okay, Brody and Jay Baggers. Let me write these names down. 1 sec. Why do I make this so hard for myself every time? Are return flights included? Matt, not quite. Not quite. All right. Brody and Jay Baggers, you are in. It goes to show how we go. True. Wow, I can't give away Collingwood tickets. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Kerno is king. You have been calling this all week. You have. All right. So if you're just joining, I have 2 tickets to give away to the game tomorrow. Thanks to Debbie. Debbie's giving them away. Archie, I think I see you. All right. Archie, you're in. So there's 3. You have a 1 in 3 chance to win 2 tickets tomorrow. Level 1, AFL Reserve, row F. Where am I sitting? I am sitting wing-ish, level 2. You're here for the wheel? Okay. Archo, yep, you're in. Gotcha. I have 3 people. Yeah, this is so sad. Do you know what, though? I know what I'm going to do. We're going to give away these tickets, and then I've got some other little random bits and pieces that I'm going to give away. I'm going to give away one of these Crips candle things with the air freshener. We might actually just do like a giveaway stream, and I'll just pick all these little random things and just like one by one, just spin that damn wheel. Spin on that thing. Eddie, how do you join the wheel? Eddie, I think you're a member. Are you a member? Yeah, you are. You are a member. Would you like to enter the draw? How come you don't have a join button next to? So, Jack, membership is not on YouTube. So changed it in November last year because YouTube membership, I don't get details of the members. Also, Google takes 30% and it's just criminal. So I don't have them set up on YouTube anymore. It's separate. All right, Eddie, you're in. Benny, I promise you, when I move out of this place and I'm ready to leave this version of the studio, I will. Oh, I don't know if I'll give the rug away. That's a special rug. I don't know. Eventually I will. I don't know if it'll be when I move out. I don't know. But one day I will. That rug that's a Silvani rug. That was in the Silvani household. So that's a very special item. Diego Jota? No, I haven't seen the news. Kareem, he passed away? It's terrible. Yeah, Benny, I think it is too special. Also, we have to make the Silvani relationship heal. We have to heal it. It has to be healed. I truly do believe we have to heal that relationship with Sauce. But that's another story. Okay, that's terrible, that Diego Jota. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure you guys wouldn't lie about that. All right, so you're telling me we have 4 people in the wheel? All right, fine. 4 people. Eddie. So Brody, J-Baggers, Archie, and Eddie, you are in the wheel for the tickets to the game tomorrow. Would anybody else like to enter? You can only enter if you are a Blue Abroad member. Blue Abroad members get priority to everything that is given away. All right. Going once, twice. I'm going to spin the wheel. All right. Okay. Nope. Let me just make sure I've got everyone there. No one else. That's 4 too many. Let's spin that wheel. All right. So, all right. Fair enough. 4 of you. Hang on. Yep. All right. 4 of you are in. And then I'm going to put the rest of you in the wheel and I'm going to spin it again and give away some little bits. Where are we? Let's go. Good luck, everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean Archie, J-Baggers, Eddie, and Brody. Oh, that's unreal. The new member. That's unreal. Perfect. Look at that, Arch. You literally just signed up. It's not really a wheel. I know it's not a wheel, but, you know, Archie, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, what I need you to do, the wheel is how Voss picks the team, but he takes out a few names, so they're not, yeah. All right, Archie, I need you to get in touch. I need you to send me your Ticketek email address, and then I will get the tickets transferred to you. So congratulations. Thanks for becoming a member. And I'm glad you did, because you just got the benefits of it right there. That's great. That's great marketing right there for the membership. All right. Now I'm going to give away another random little prize just because. Let me just fix the wheel. All right. And I'm going to add your name in here, Archie, as well. So, okay. So I got sent these things, right? I got 2 sets of them. I might do them both. So I'll show you. Show you what I got. So they're candles, and they also have like air fresheners. So let me take one out and show you. If an international member wins here, it's going to be amazing. Oh, you can't really see them. No, I know what I'm going to do. I have to show it to you on a website. All right. Bear with me, guys. I don't want to take them out of the packaging. Flinders Street Co. So, got sent these candles by this Etsy store called Flinders Street Co. You see that? They do all sorts of brands. So what I've got this one. So Charlie Kerno. Share this tab instead. So a Charlie, is that better? Yeah. So I've got a Charlie Kerno candle. Okay. And I've also got this image in air fresheners. So I'm going to spin the wheel. Someone's going to win the Charlie Kerno version. I'm going to spin on that thing. And then there's another version of this one. Patrick Cripps. So does it smell like Charlie Kerno? I don't know. I don't even know if this is the right week to be giving away anything Charlie Kerno branded. So Charlie Kerno air freshener. Almost. Yep. And then Patrick Cripps air freshener. All right. Okay. Members are in. Archie, I got your message. Cool. I'll sort you out as soon as we finish the stream. Okay. Which one do we do first? Charlie or you know what? That's why we have a poll. Start a poll. Which one do we spin for first? Cripps. Kerno. All right. Live chat. Which one do we spin for first? Cripps or Kerno? All right. Cripps out to a big lead here. Cripps first. All right. Rocco, you think Charlie? All right. Captain. Oh, it's starting to even out. Paul, glad you're enjoying it, mate. Paul, if you win, I won't send it to you. I will personally hand it to you when you get to Melbourne. All right. I think Cripps is going to win this battle. 45 votes. All right. I think that's enough. Cripps wins the battle. All right. We're going to give away the Cripps one first. Are we all ready? All right. So a Cripps candle and a couple of Cripps air fresheners for the first winner. Let's see. Jacob, are you in the chat? So Crips, candles, Jacob. Should I call him? Wait, just for a candle? Will he care? Do you think he'll care? Like, hey, Jacob, you just want a Crips candle. He's not really going to care, is he? I don't know. Would you guys want someone to call you and say, hey, congratulations, we've spun the wheel and you've won a Crips candle and some air fresheners? I don't think so. All right. I'm just going to send... Oh, nah. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to call him. Call him? He might burn his house down with it. All right. Let's call him. This could be the most awkward phone call of all time. Hey, mate, like you just want candles.
The person you are calling is not available. Please leave a short message and it will be sent as an audio message.
Hey, Jacob, it's Terry Degani from Blue Abroad. Oh, he's calling back. Never mind. Hey, mate, how are you?
How's it going?
Good. What's happening?
Not too much.
That's the way. It's Tez from Blue Abroad.
Yeah, what's up?
Just calling to let you know that I did like a random giveaway for this Patrick Cripps candle and some air fresheners, and the chat thought it would be a good idea to call you and let you know that you've won. So you've won.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, it's a really awkward prize to give away, I know, but like I have them sitting there, and I thought, you know what, let's just spin the damn wheel.
Oh yeah.
So congratulations, mate. What are your plans for tomorrow? What's the story?
Probably just watch through my hands.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you think we're a chance?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not, but you're going anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post. Wait, you're going? Do you want me to bring them to you tomorrow, or do you not want to carry it
to the game? No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to the game.
Oh, you're not going to the game. Okay, fair enough. I will post these to you tomorrow, and you will receive them sometime next week.
All right.
Mate, legend. Thanks for being a member.
Cheers.
All right, man. See ya. We're always calling winners of anything. What am I talking about? Watching through my hands, worth the call. Yeah, that was hilarious. Okay. Jacob. All right. Pick another winner. All right. Next up. Charlie. Okay. What we are going to do at some point, for sure, we will do like a specific stream with just multiple prizes. I'm going to set it up properly though. I want to go buy a few things, and we'll have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 prizes, and I'll just go one after the other and just like make bulk calls. All right. Now, next up, the Charlie Curnow candle. Ready? Let's go. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I've got to share my screen. Chris Lang. He's an OG. Lang. I got him? I do have him.
Hello, sis. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. What are you up to?
I'm actually just I'm hanging out with my wife. What's going on?
Oh, beautiful. I won't take too much of your time. I just did like a really random impromptu giveaway. And basically, I've got these custom made candles ones with like Charlie Curnow on them and like Charlie Curnow themed air fresheners. And mate, your name come up.
Oh, beautiful. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much for that.
Mate, my pleasure. My pleasure. What are your plans tomorrow? You going to the game?
I've got other stuff I've got to do, unfortunately, but we'll be watching on the TV. But I got a good feeling. I reckon we'll go a lot better than what people think, but you never know.
Can we win?
Of course we can win, but the question is, will we?
For some reason, when I think of you, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I just will never, ever forget your fan cam after Collingwood 2022.
Yeah, I'm still trying to forget that, Terry, but thanks for reminding me.
Sorry. Sorry, mate. But what you said was just so powerful,
Yeah, unfortunately, it's still the same thing, but yeah, it's good. At least I can be remembered for something, but that's nice.
Amazing. Well, enjoy the rest of your night with the lovely Dales, and congratulations on winning the prize. And thanks for being a member.
All right, thank you, Terry, and thanks for everyone that watches your show. Cheers.
No worries. See you, mate.
See you, mate.
How good's that? Kerno. Kendall. Chris Lang. Love it. All right. Now I want to give away more. I could really clean up this room. There's shit everywhere. Oh my goodness, there is shit everywhere in this room. Okay. I'm gonna plan out a nice. First of all, there is a July giveaway coming, so there's that for a specific prize. I'll make an announcement about that soon. But we will. Oh, this is going to be great. I have so many things that I do not need. Like, it'll clean my room here. So we'll do a nice awards giveaway night. Maybe after a few wins, because everything's a little dull at the moment. Anyway, guys, I think that's us for the night. That's the team show. What are we? 2 hours. Spin for the J. No, that thing isn't going anywhere. That thing over there, that Jacob Wiedering poster. No chance. The BA garage sale. The MJ poster? Nah. No way. Not a chance. Also, maybe one day. Blue Bagger, good to have you here, mate. BA Awards night. Yeah, maybe last night, last show of the year. All right. So let me just get the teams up one more time before we close off. Jordan Boyd, Adam Sard, Silvani, Alex Chincotta, Billy Wilson, and Lewis Young all come out of this team. And in come Lockie Cowan, Ashton Moyer, Matthew Carroll, Francis Evans, Harry O'Farrell, and Mark Pitternet. It is a young team tomorrow. There's a lot of youth in that side tomorrow. So anyway, guys, that has been the team show for round 17, 2025. I will see you tomorrow. Midday, we'll do an hour of the game day stream, and then we'll chill out a bit, and then we will do the fan cams late tomorrow night. So let's hope for something positive to come from tomorrow. See you later. Go Blues.